Do you have to learn Japanese to live in Japan? Hello YouTube people, this is Japanadian for a new video. Today, we're only gonna have my shadow right there. We're not going to focus on my face because I'd rather show you a little bit of the countryside since I'm here, right? Sounds like a plan. So today's my last day in Montreal, and as you can see, we're observing the end of the infamous color season that we just went through, and I'm going to be heading back to Vancouver tonight, hopefully, and we'll have the chance to show you guys some different landscapes with more buildings, definitely more buildings, right? So I have to say that today, November the 19th of 2020 is quite very hot. Somehow, we're showing 23 degrees Celsius right now at this very moment. So I'm wearing my jacket just as a precaution, because I not only do not trust this weather, but also because it tends to become quite windy very quickly in Montreal at this time of the year. But anyways, so bringing back the main topic, the question is, do we need to know Japanese before moving to Japan? So I'll give you my own perspective on this question, my own opinion about this topic. First of all, most of you guys that know me probably know that I have lived in Japan for a few years. When I initially started my journey off of Vancouver, BC back in October of 2016, and I went to explore the land of the rising sun along with my ex-girlfriend so she could show me her country. Well, I didn't know much Japanese at all back then. I had little to no knowledge of the language, and all I knew was what I had learned through most marketed Japanese products such as mangas, watching animes, playing Pokemon games, the whole Naruto and One Piece kind of thing, everything that comes to us from Japan, right? So in short terms, I knew how to say basic stuff such as Ohayo gozaimasu, konnichiwa, arigatou gozaimasu, taberu, nomu, and so on. So I thought in the back of my mind that I would be able to just define by using what I knew, as well as all the katakana-ized English words, right? However, that was not true at all, because when I moved to Japan, as early as the morning after my arrival, I needed to do all the basics and take care of whatever needed to be registered at the city hall, such as, the social insurance number, the medical insurance number, the city registration, opening my bank account, basically all that needed to be done for me to be able to start looking for a job. So going through that process of having everything registered at the Kawasaki City Hall, I found that I highly needed to rely on my Japanese girlfriend at the time and, have just about anything gone through her, right? So this not only caused me some stress because I felt like crap and I was extremely not self-sufficient, but on a human level, she never told me anything about this, by the way, and she was very, very nice to me by helping me with everything. But I think that this had probably annoyed her just a little bit because frankly speaking, when you think about it, it is way too demanding to always have anyone act on my behalf when I'm a grown-up adult and I'm supposed to be able to, fairly act on my own for everything that I need to do. For example, in Canada, I used to be very, very independent and self-reliant, and I was able to do just about anything that needed to be done in a quick and efficient manner, right? Now think about this for a second. You move to a foreign country that speaks a completely different language, which you do not speak, and you find yourself having to rely on other people to cover the most basic needs for you to function properly in the society, right? Now that is quite a difficult situation. Of course, you realize how awesome Japanese people are, and they're really, really awesome by helping you with everything. At least they help me a lot, right? But the reality is that no matter how nice they can be, they can only help you to some extent. If you need to go to an emergency doctor, for example, in the middle of the night, let's say, would you wake anybody up to come and translate the language for you? Or would you rather want to be able to do it on your own? That's the question. So my answer to you guys' question is as follows. Get to learn Japanese ahead of time. You'll just be putting yourself in a much, much better position than the one I had to take, right? You'll be able to rely on your own, at least for the basic needs, and you'll feel much better about this. So I've got some friends that I met in Japan back then that are half Japanese. Some of them came out of Brazil, America, Germany, and so on, right? And I figured they had the main tools that helped them with the early stages of moving to Japan, which is the language. And looking at them, I remember I thought to myself, wow, what a huge advantage they have. So my advice to you again is, before you move to Japan, give yourself a favor and go through some Japanese language classes. If you are from Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, Quebec City, Calgary, there are for sure some communities that teach you the language and offer language exchanges because Canada has that advantage, right? So you can exchange language with anybody, go to meetups, and so you get the chance to learn about the culture through the language and have at least a solid vocabulary basis to rely on should you be on your own in Japan, right? So I hope this helps. I did not do any of what I just advised you to do, by the way, and I had to go through it, the hard way. And basically I've gotten myself fired from a few jobs due to my language inability, but that's another story, right? By the way, I still have a long way to go before I acquire fluency, so I'm not in any way fluent in Japanese, but I feel much better about how I felt about myself when I first moved to Japan. But if I had to relive my pre-Japan life, I would definitely take some language courses ahead of time to get myself in a good shape. Anyways, that's it for me today. I hope that it helps you if you're looking for this answer. And thank you very much for watching, if you've done so, and see you on the next one.